Blog Talk Radio.
What's good, Bully World? This is Zeb. I'm your host of Bully Talk with Zeb Pitts. And tonight, my special guest is none other than Mr. Ed Shepard. And tonight we're going to learn more about him, his boy 21 Blackjack, the legacy of DAX, and the start of the USBR. Right now we're just waiting for him to call in. And as we wait for him to call in, I just want you to know that in August 16th, I will be at the IBKC 4 Show event in Greenfield, Massachusetts. Looking forward to that event. That show will have a weight pull. Then, the following weekend, August the 23rd, I will be in Valparaiso, Indiana for RKC Midwest Finals. I'm very, very much looking forward to that show as well. Stephen went all out with the trophies, so I'm really looking forward to that and cannot wait. We have Mr. Ed Shepard now. Let's bring him on.
Hi, Zeb. Ed here. How you doing?
Hey, hi. I'm doing good. How are you, Mr. Shepard? Ed,
I'm real good.
I'm sorry about that.
Glad to finally get hold of you.
Yeah, Ed and I talked earlier because I have to get used to not saying Mr. Shepard. I'm sorry about that. That's just a Southern they gave me. So how are you, Ed?
I'm real good. Real good. Sorry you had troubles tonight.
Yeah, sorry about that. Let's get right into it, Ed.
All right.
Let's talk about how did you get started in the American bully world?
Well, I originally got started was my kids came to me and said, we want to get a pit bull. I have 2 boys. And I said, are you crazy? We're not getting no pit bull. I said, that's just a lawsuit waiting to happen. So I started looking at them. They got them together on the internet for me to look at different websites. And I thought, well, those dogs look darn good. And we went to some kennels to check them out. And I was expecting them to be, vicious, anti-human, all that kind of stuff. And they were all real nice. They were real nice dogs. So I bought one, and turned out to be a real nice dog, and I ended up buying 3 more that year. And we were very happy with them. But the dogs that I originally purchased, and this was, 13 years ago, I guess, 15 years ago. They weren't exactly what I wanted because I just liked them a little shorter and thicker. I wasn't really interested in the original pit bulls, I guess. And there was no such thing as a bully back then. But that's what I liked. I liked the pits that were shorter and thicker, block your heads, block your everywhere. So we got, as I said, the first year we picked up 4 dogs. I got some off of one Gotti, and then I got some from certified kennels, and that was my start. We ended up getting rid of all those dogs when I bought DAXLINE's 21 Blackjack. That was kind of my dream dog at the time. And he was owned by a man in L.A. named, what was the guy's name, baby? Alvarado or... So anyway, I know the guy's name. But he had Blackjack, and he had the entire litter that Blackjack came out of. So all the brothers and the sisters. And that's when I started getting close to what I really wanted. Blackjack was, to me, a dream dog. He was actually his pick of the litter, the man's pick of the litter, and the dog was like a machine. You asked him to do one thing, and bam, he did it. Instant, come, sit, stay, heel. He just did everything you wanted. And so we were thrilled with Blackjack. And then we started, because we had bred, I think I bred to Gotti 5 times, but I never got anything off of Gotti that I was happy with. I was satisfied with. Not trying to knock Gotti, I'm just trying to tell the truth here. And Gotti to me was more of an internet dog. You know, you get on the internet and you say this is a #1 dog and he's a great producer. And you say it enough and pretty soon everybody believes you. But Gotti was a fabulous dog. I think that was the best dog in the country. But to me, it was not the best producer because he never, he was sporadic in his production. So I know a lot of people will be really pissed off about me saying that, but that's the truth. And so we got Blackjack, and we kind of trying to breed here and there, and our dogs got better, but we never really got down to exactly what I wanted. And finally, we did end up with Dax, which was, to me, that's the ideal American bully. Somebody still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I wanted to say, let's talk about before we get to Dax. What would be the legacy of 21 Blackjack in your opinion in the bully world? Because during that time he was probably a foundation for a lot of yards, you would say, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, he was a super dog, and he was a really good producer. Not great like Dax, but a good producer. The problem we had back then, that's old school stuff, is that the bitches we bred to were not really fantastic. The quality of the bitches back then was not that great. And, whenever you breed to a bitch that's not that great, well, you can expect to be disappointed in some of your puppies. But Blackjack threw us some good puppies, and he helped us get started. That was really my starting dog, my foundation dog in breeding. And I found that the more I bred to Blackjack, like if I bring him back to his daughter, for example, that sort of thing, the dogs would get shorter and thicker, which is what I was looking for. So pretty soon other people also liked the shorter, thicker dogs, the bullier dogs. And as a consequence, the bullies got real popular. But not everybody loved Blackjack like I did, Everybody has their own ideal dog in their head. They should have. They should have a picture of that dog in their head. And that's what they should be breeding towards. And now Blackjack, he was about 17, 18 inches, and he weighed 100, 110 pounds. So he was a bigger dog. But as I said, when I bred close to him, did some inbreeding, then I started getting dogs that were smaller and shorter and thicker because he had it in the gene pool. And then also I went and bought Black Ace, and I bought Lay Blue. So I had 3 dogs off of that litter. So and Lay Blue was a fabulous bitch, but she wasn't really a great producer. But we brought her to a Gotti son. I don't even know what. She didn't really produce for us what I was after. Blackjack did, and Black Ace, he produced pretty good. He produced 7 or 8 dogs that were real good dogs. I mean, excellent dogs. We finally sold them to Spain.
With that said, you were talking about the vision of the dog in your head. When Dax came along, was that the vision that you had in your head?
Absolutely.
When you saw him develop?
I had exactly Dax in my head as to what I wanted. And so then Blackjack died on us, and I'm going, oh, man, I'm through. Because Blackjack was, he was a big-name dog. And there's a lot of competition back in those days, so, especially with Razor Edge and so forth. But, you had Cairo and Short Shot and so forth. I didn't really care that much for those dogs. They're okay. But not what I was looking for. What other people are looking for, and that's fine. Everybody's allowed to breed what they want to breed. Everybody's allowed to have their own vision of what they want to produce. But they were not my vision. So anyway, when Blackjack died, I started talking to Jesus, and I said, well, it looks like I'm through almost here. And I said, I want to have the best American Bully ever, and I'd like him to be the best producing American Bully in history. And then I said, well, maybe I'm asking too much. And then I said, well, no, this is what I want. If your answer is no, then I can take that. But I'm gonna, when I ask God for something, I ask Him what I want, not what less than what I want. I ask Him exactly for what I want. And God's answer was yes, and I got Dax. And his litter, the litter that Dax was in, was really not a fantastic litter. It was somewhat sporadic, so I thought, well, Dax is not going to be a good producer because, the litter that he's out of is sporadic. Dax was really the only dog in there that was ideal dog for me. And I didn't care for some of the others that were in the litter. We sold them off. And but Dax turned out the way I wanted him to look. And he turned out to be a very consistent producer. In my mind, Dax is producing American Bully in history. I don't think there's anybody even close. There's a couple of, I think the second best for production is probably Mr. Miyagi. But I don't think Miyagi really compares with Dax. I'm a big fan of Miyagi, too. I don't care what ABKC says. I don't know why they decided not to register him or his offspring, but and that's one reason I opened the USBR. I wasn't going to allow some other organization to tell me what to breed or what not to breed. When you start letting other people... Say what?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was saying, was that the reasoning for the start of the USBR because of not allowing certain dogs in the registry that
well, the reason, well, that was a lot of it, yeah. I didn't want... See, I had a problem with UKC because Dax was registered with UKC. And they sent me a letter and said, well, he's too short. He doesn't fit our standard because Dax is 15 inches, 80 pounds. And they want 17 to 20 inches. I don't even have a dog that tall. I'm not interested in one. That's just, to me, a big pit bull. And I'm not interested in that. I don't, I want something 15 or less, at the withers. And so UKC was out. And then when ABKC, which, I like ABKC. ABKC is a good organization. But they get a little bit too involved. For example, like they got mad at George who owns Miyagi, and pretty soon Miyagi, they're not going to register him or his puppies. And I just, at the time, was getting ready to breed a Miyagi. That's where I got Primo. And I'm not going to allow somebody else to tell me who I can breed or who I can't. So I decided, well, I'm going to open my own organization up, my own registry, and then I'm the one making the decision then on who I can breed to, who I can't. So that's one of the reasons why I opened the USBR.
What has the response been to the bully community once you started the USBR? How are things going so far?
Things are going great. We've been registering several thousand dogs. We got shows going on all the time. Benny and Michelle Chavez, who are my partners, they put on a lot of shows, and other people put on shows. We're having a lot of shows, a good response to the shows. We're registering a lot of dogs. And so, things are they're very good. I'm more than pleased with with what's been happening with the USBR. So,
With
I haven't
that
been
said,
in any trouble. Say what?
With that said, Ed, when will the first USBR Nationals take place?
Oh Lord, I don't know about that. I don't really know.
Be a while.
I don't know. Could be this year, could be next year. I don't know. You know, I'm not into putting on shows myself. Benny and Michelle Chavez, they put on a lot of shows, and I'm certain they're going to put on a national, unless somebody else wants to do it before them. We have a few champions right now, and things are going great. You know, people are very happy, and it's nice to go to a show and everybody's pretty happy. You know, we don't have a lot of politics involved in the show, and we're registering a lot of different breeds of dogs. For example, we decided to register the exotics. Now, a lot of people, you know, they got negative on the exotics, but you know, a lot of people were negative on American Bullies when we switched from just being a pit bull and over to being American Bullies. And our attitude is we think everybody should be allowed to breed what they want to breed. You know, I'm not the dog police telling them what they can't do and what they can do, that sort of thing. And the exotics are a prime example because they're extremely popular. And like ABKC doesn't want to register them, UKC doesn't want to register them, but we're registering those dogs constantly. And they're showing up at the shows, and a lot of people are really, in fact, I think the exotics are probably the hottest dog there is in the game right now. They're not exactly what I want myself. You know, I like American Bullies. That's my number one dog. But there are some exotics which I think are tremendous, really tremendous dogs. But, you know, everybody has their own opinion on everything. And that's okay. I think that's a good thing. But you can't have one organization or one person saying to everybody else yes on this and no on that. You know, so that's one reason we have the USBR. If people want to breed exotics, we'll register them, and you can show them at our shows and win championships, and it's a good deal for everybody.
I gotta ask your opinion about something, Ed, because at one time you were a judge with the ABKC, correct?
Right.
What was your thoughts when you found out Marco had left to go to the BBCR? Were you surprised about that?
Oh, yeah, I was. Yes, I was surprised because Marco. You're talking about Marco Suarez, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because Marco was, you know, he was solid in the ABKC, and I was. They did a lot of good things for Marco, and I was surprised that he left them. You know, but you know, Marco has his reasons. He's a grown man. And it's not really for somebody else to judge what he does or doesn't do. You know, like he bred, he bred to Dax twice, and then he bred to two Dax sons. And Marco told me personally that those are the best dogs that he ever raised. So, which was nice. I was glad to hear that, and so forth. But you know, I'm not really here to judge other people's opinions. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion, including me.
Do you currently have something on your yard now that you could see replacing Dax?
Well, I don't want to replace Dax right now. I mean, Dax is only 5 years old. He's very healthy. He's got a great sperm count. We just had 3 weeks ago, I had a sperm count done with him. And the dog, excuse me, The most you can ask for a dog to produce in sperm count would be 1 billion. And Dex was 900 and, let me think here, 96 million, which is 4 million short of 1 billion. And good motility, excellent. And there are a lot of good dogs out there, but Dax is my favorite dog, so I'm pretty hot on it. I have a litter right now off of Dax, bred to his daughter Lulu, Lulu produced Primo. So I got a litter right now off of them, and I'm pretty hot on this litter. And I plan on keeping a male and a female off of the litter. And so we'll see what happens. You know, you can't, they're only, what are they, 16 days old, something like that. They look badass, but, you know, you can't grade a dog at 16 days. You got to wait until they're at least 8 weeks or something to try to decide if you're going to keep something.
But now, the UKC, when you were talking about, what was your thoughts when they decided to accept the American Bully?
Well, I don't know. You know, I thought, well, maybe they need money. I don't know. I don't know why, because, you know, well, I mean, the truth is, UKC likes the pit bulls. You can't deny that. Everybody knows it. Everybody like pit bulls. They're a pit bull organization. And they didn't want the American Bullies, and then all of a sudden, bam, they surprised everybody and took them. But the problem with them is the standard that they have. You know, they want males to be 17 to 20 inches. You know, if somebody wants to raise great big males, that's cool. Go ahead and do it, you know. But that's not what I want. I'm not interested in something 17 to 20 inches. I'm just, personally, I'm not into the great big American Bullies, great big pit bulls. I don't care for them too much. But that's just me. If somebody else likes them, hey, that's cool. Go ahead, like them. You know, it's not for me to judge. And once again, it's not for me to be the dog police, you know.
What are your thoughts on the bully community today compared to when you first started?
Well, it's certainly more diverse. That's for sure. I think that American Bullies have become incredibly popular. People love the bullies. Everybody wants a bully. You know, I think that, like, oh God, probably 95% of the breeders want bullies, want American Bullies. They want them short and thick, blocky, big heads. But there are still some people that want these extra large dogs and so forth. To me, the extra large dogs resemble the old style pit bulls. You know, the originals. And like Blackjack, for example. Blackjack, I said, was, 17 inches and 110 pounds? You know, and they're a lot more along that line. Well, I'm not really interested in it, personally. I'm not interested in a dog that big. I like the size of Blackjack. So, but once again, you have to allow other people to like what they like and breed what they want to breed. Ed Shepard's none of his business what Johnny Smith is breeding across the street. It's none of my business. If he wants to breed great big dogs, extra large, go ahead and breed them. You know, not everybody has to breed something that looks like Dax.
I got to ask you, Ed, about Dax, because I'm quite sure, you know, with the popularity of Dax, you probably got a lot of offers for him. What's the if you wanted to say, what's the largest offer you ever got for Dax?
I was recently offered $1 million for Dax and $500,000 for Primo. I turned it down because both dogs make me money now. I'm not broke. I'm not rich, but I'm not broke. And things are good. I'm happy. Dax is my house dog. He's the only dog I keep in the house. And I don't want to sell him. So, and I don't need them. money. You know, if I take $1 million for DAX, you know, then I have to give Obama at least half of that. So, I mean, what's the point? The dog already makes me a lot of money, so. And also, if you know what, if you want to be number one, you have to have the number one dog. You have the best dog out there. And if you don't, well, then you're not number one. So, I'm happy with my position right now. A lot of people might disagree with it, but that's cool. Go ahead.
To your knowledge, Ed, just going back to the USBR, do you see it making its way to the East Coast with the popularity like you see out
yeah,
west?
I expect it to go everywhere. I expect it to go, you know, everywhere. Europe, South America, all over the U.S. You know, things are going real good. See, one thing people like about the USBR is that we're very cooperative. You know, if you can give us substantial proof that your dog is a pure dog, then you can register your dogs with us. You know, we're not going to take mutts from the pound. You know, some people called us and they say, well, I'd like to start a breed that are what's that darn color? The one with spots and blue and what? You know, like them cattle dogs. What's that color?
I'm drawing a blank right now, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, well, you know, we're not going to register some mixed dog that's that color. You know, what the hell is the name of that color? Well, there you go. See, I'm 69 years old, and I guess I'm having a senior moment because I can't think of the darn color. But you know, we want to be a legit registry, and so we're doing everything we can to. We're making decisions towards that goal. So.
I really want to say thank you for your time tonight, Ed, to sharing some knowledge on your kennel and on the USBR. Any last thoughts?
Well, I just want to wish everybody luck and success in their breeding programs and in their showing of their dogs. And I would like to see everybody be successful as much as possible. I'm not really as competitive anymore. You know, I'm getting a little bit old here, and I just breed my dogs the way I like them, and those are the dogs that I show. And I still show ABKC and USBR, and I think those are good organizations. And I look forward to having a few more champions. Until I visit Jesus, you know, change my mailing address to heaven, I want to create a few more really outstanding dogs and so forth. It's my desire to do that. But things are good right now. Praise God. Thank you, Jesus. Things are good. I got a good life. I got a beautiful wife, and I got great grandkids, and you know, my life is good. I got a good life, and I'm real happy. I'm a happy man. And I thank you for having me come on your radio program. And it's been good talking to you, Zeb, on this. And once again, I wish everybody the best fortune for their lives and for their breeding program, okay?
Thank you very much, This is Mr. Ed Shepherd. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. That was Mr. Ed Shepherd, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank him for coming on tonight. I want to thank the listeners for tuning in. Thank you so much, again, for shedding your knowledge on the bully community and your years of experience. And to all the listeners out there, take care. God bless.